Hello, esteemed members of Jackson's Clubhouse. This is Sam, and I am here to report my findings in my research on the Van Halen discography up to and through 1984. I listened to each track successively on vinyl from the first album, Van Halen 1, all the way to 1984. And first of all, I can confirm, according to my subjectivity formula, which starts, which starts the first track of the first album, which is Running with the Devil, at an index of 100% awesome. And now every successive track would be measured against this awesomeness index, which is denoted as AV, Awesomeness of Van Halen. And what I found was a definite, steady upward curve on the graph. In other words, each Van Halen track is equal or better than the last, all the way to the end of the first side of the third album, Women and Children First, all the way to the crescendo of Romeo Delight. And now from Romeo Delight through to the second side, including in a simple rhyme, and then traversing all the way to the end of side one of Fair Warning, it is impossible to discern. There's a kind of a Heisenbergian cloud of uncertainty. There's no way to determine which of these songs up here on this the Van Halen plateau are actually more awesome than the other. But what is significant is that beginning with Romeo Delight and then ending with Hear About It Later, side one, the last track, side one on Fair Warning, we have the aforementioned Van Halen plateau. And now, and then further, I pinpointed a moment where this plateau actually ends and the decline of Van Halen begins. And this moment can be pinpointed at the beginning of side two of Fair Warning. And using the awesomeness index, we go back to the first three albums and compare the second side track one tracks from them. Jamie's Crying, Light Up the Sky, and Tora Tora / Loss of Control. And now suddenly we see something has changed. Unchained is not typical of Van Halen, nor is it on this trajectory that we've charted. It seems to be somehow half a loaf, and the confusion continues on that second side. Now, in deference to Professor Devine, of course, he pinpoints the fall of Van Halen somewhere after Unchained, and the other track right after it, which I think definitely has some validity. Push comes to shove. But as you can see, the results are pretty close together. And then the fall begins. Now, we'll have to talk about Diver Down in 1984 later, because I do believe that those two albums are a separate phenomenon from what we're discussing here. But once again, just to recap, my research over here at the Crow's Nest think tank has definitely revealed an upward curve, a steadily upward curve of awesomeness, starting with 100% awesome and ending with infinitely awesome, that being Romeo Delight, and then a plateau of awesomeness, uncertainty, ending with Hear About It Later, and thus the beginning of the decline, beginning with side two of Fair Warning. This has been Sam in the Crow's Nest think tank. Thank you, gentlemen.